Here, supposedly the best Chinese deathmatch player at the moment, and Miguel, a very well-known Brazilian player. And so, what's about to say, Jakei is more of a DM player, of course, and Miguel taking off more of an RM approach to DM, which is, I think, quite understandable because he comes from random map. I played them both before in deathmatch, in Han Wars especially, and it's needless to say that I died pretty horribly in all those games, though I survived a little bit longer versus Miguel. And they both had a very different playstyle from each other. Jakei likes to go for a market pretty early and spreads his army out wider. Miguel is more of a one-directional player when it comes to deathmatch. So, and it could be pretty much game over for Jakei, but let's see how they decide to play this one. Let's see. First villager ratings coming in. Miguel already losing 2 villages here, as you can see. Very important, the early raids for either player, because you can kill a lot of villagers and thus prevent your opponent from spreading out all over the map. Could be pretty much game over for Jakei, but let's see how they decide to play this one. Let's see. First villager ratings coming in. Miguel already losing 2 villages here, as you can see. Very important, the early raids for either player, because you can kill a lot of villagers and thus prevent your opponent from spreading out all over the map. Miguel with a very nice map, having all the goals kind of backwards and also an extra goal on the side. And his raid is not too effective. Actually, it is effective. 4 villagers died there on this single raid here on the side, because all of them were clumped up on these 2 buildings. Is there a market yet for Jakei? No, I kind of expected a market here, but he's not going for it yet. Seems like the start for Miguel was a little bit better in his population. He has 10 more population, 1 more villager, but it shouldn't be that significant, and we can see already that Jakei is approaching these goals on top of the map here at Miguel's base. That is a very nice move here, because all of the villagers from Miguel, of course, going there to fortify this area, because gold income especially is very important in deathmatch. And we can see Miguel also approaching this hill of Jakei, where Jakei has his main army actually sitting on this hill with a lot of halberdiers and a single army here to kind of distract Miguel's attention. We will see that Jakei uses a lot of halberdiers in his games. He's always on a pretty high population and using a lot of halberdiers instead of a more gold unit. The reason for that is that a lot of players don't go for so much halberdiers, is that it's very demanding on your middle game economy. But it can work out, of course, when you manage to kill a lot of gold units of your opponent and get a lot of cost-efficient fights. It can really give you an edge right at the beginning and make use of it. And we already can see here Jakei spreading out very nicely with all of his army. And Miguel has to be careful not to get pushed too heavily here in the center. Because if he gets pushed here and maybe loses too much army, Jakei could easily turn around and switch sides and then go to approach the goals, which he is doing with a little army yet again, and is killing more and more villages, suppressing the economy of Miguel. But what RMs do really well in deathmatch, from my experience, is that they can stall a game very nicely. They know how to stay on life support. That's how I like to call it. They don't die that easily. They also tend to not waste as much army as RM or typical deathmatch players do, or they're not really trading so much army as deathmatch players do. But Jakei, with yet again a really nice move, he has significantly more army at this point, 140 to 80, and his economy is looking quite nice as well. Already TC'd his main goals. This goal will also be TC'd. Did he mark it? I don't think he did. You check. Oh yeah, he marked it. That's what I thought. He's a player that always goes for late market, or tends to go for a late market, and he did this this time, and I think he will be able to push this if Miguel is not careful. Miguel has not yet fortified the front of his base, and that is anti-market. That is a very bad idea, and could be the loss for him in game 1 already. I think this should be game for Miguel. There's nothing to fall back on, because when you play anti-market, pretty much rely on a cost-efficient trade against the gold army and on a good gold income, so you can overpower your opponent and like the 50-minute mark. The market push lasts normally until like 15 minutes. Then the marketer has to build them an economy, because it sacrificed a lot of economy in exchange for the market. But seems like Jakei managed to push this quite easily. We're raiding Miguel's gold, and that is GG. 1-0 for Jakei in game 1. And now we're going to the home map of Miguel, which is, I think, should be a water map. Okay. Really curious what the home map of Miguel might be. Yes, there are a lot of different maps in this tournament, like Baltic Islands, Graveyards, Double Green Arabia, which is my home map, by the way. Double Green Arabia hunts, very nice setting. And Plains, I think. Team Islands is a little bit boring, to be honest. So I don't hope it's not Team Islands. I seriously hope it's not Team Islands. That would be painful. But it could be a water map, because the MS struggle with water maps a lot more than RMS do. Or tend to struggle more. Michi DM. What is with this chat today? Why are you guys all so serious? Is everyone so being so serious? Ooh. We have a post from Richard. Thank you very much. Okay, and we have, oh my god, it's Team Islands, and it's Spanish War on Team Islands. Alright, it is a water map, as I thought, and it's Spanish, the supposedly best civilization for Team Islands. And let's see what the players are doing. We can already see a difference here. Miguel is going for a 2-villager dock start, while Jakei is only with 1 villager, which won't be enough at all. He's already later on the docks. This could be already. To be honest, this could be GG if Miguel manages to kill 1 or 2 villagers or prevent a dock here. It could be already over, because you need the water. There's no way around it. And castles only help so much, especially against the cannon galleons from the Spanish. It's quite laggy. It seems a bit laggy, but it should be fine. And it seems like Miguel already found Jakei's dock, and he is significantly in front at the moment. It's 4-3 docks, and there's a transport ship. Transport ship coming out for Jakei? Did he? Oh no, no, this is bad. He's making land units. Oh, this just can't. This went so wrong. Yeah, this is over. I didn't think that Jakei wasn't prepared for this. It seems like he wasn't really prepared for Team Islands map, or he just went for the straight up wrong strategy and it's already GG. He could have used the restart, to be honest, but that was kind of anticlimactic in a sense. Like, could have used the restart. He just, yeah. I don't know what to say about that. That was just ridiculous. Now it's home map for Jakei. My lord. Jakei is supposedly one of the top 3 DM players in China. I think he won the Chinese DM tournament against Tio and against Hu. And he's actually quite skilled, but not seemingly not prepared for water maps. Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that it's not a water map. Maybe it's GA Han Wars again. I wouldn't be that surprised to see that. Didn't know that Hellerite is German. I guess that's safe to say. I don't know. No, it's not that. Like, I played Hu, 1800 DM player, on the map pack before, and he knew how to play the water maps. So it's not that they have no idea what to do, I think. Maybe he had a plan, but it just got denied, or it just was a fail strategy at all. Like, he wanted to go for a landing right away, and maybe make use of the fact that Miguel went for straight docks and no military at all on land. But the thing is, you're kind of spawned directly opposite of each other, so it's hard to get a transport ship out in time. The thing is, EMers struggle a lot on water maps against RMers, typical RMers, or that's from my experience. So it's more of a YOLO strategy, I guess, more of an all-in kind of thing. Like, you want to end the game rather quickly. Okay. Let's see. It is a Frank War. Oh, Jakei seems to be a very old school player if you're going for Frank War. We have in this best of 5 series Miguel versus Jakei in the best of 5 group stage of the DM World Cup. And we have a Frank War in the north in green. It is Miguel, and kind of in the south or to the left side of the map it's Jakei, both as Frank War on green Arabia. Frank War, a very classic setting in deathmatch, and there's a lot of experienced player in Frank War, and it's kind of specially played sometimes. Paladins are of course important. You need halberdiers, and of course the throwing axeman. Micro plays a pretty important role, and the food economy is crucial to your mid-game and early mid-game. If you have no food economy, you basically just die, because all the units you can make are based on food, like throwing axemen, paladins, and halberdiers. And also very important, the rushing in the beginning. If you fuck up the start, kind of, you tends to be pretty dead. If you lose too many villages, you're practically dead. I've seen games where some players only had 2 villages left after the Frank rush, so let's see what they can do about this. When we look at the maps, it's quite balanced, in my opinion. The golds are a little bit more on Jakei's side, and the relics are fairly even, in my opinion. And Miguel already losing 3 villages here in comparison to Jakei. And it might be even more. You will see that players in Frank War tend to rush a little bit more paladins than, for example, in Han War, because they just don't die with their extra HP, or they take 1 more hit than the Han paladins. So they are more effective at rushing in the beginning, and also to drag army away, like Jakei is doing now or trying now. And as we can see here, Jakei is going for a very classic Frank War start with the stables around the TC and then the barracks behind. After that come the castle and the throwing axemen. If you look at the military numbers, it's quite even actually. It's pretty much dead even at this point. Miguel also going for the market. Let's see how much he sold. Never mind. See how much he sold. I think you can sell a lot of wood. You don't want to sell food. Oh, both sold wood. Okay, that's quite standard in Frank War. You don't need so much wood, as you have no wood units other than traps and maybe onagers. As you can see, Miguel also going for a little more barracks. And only one castle yet. That's not good at the moment. And Jakei also winning the first fight, it seems. KD vastly in his favor, and that's a very nice fight for him. Also now throwing axemen coming into play, and only one castle for Frank War is not enough for the early fights, especially because you want the throwing axemen in the mix to deal with the halberdiers. Also, a split of Miguel's army is not at his front, it's more to the side. It will get cleaned up by those halberdiers. With Jakei already with a very nice lead here. And I think he can push this pretty easily. 120 to 60 population. And he's just going further and further into the front of Miguel. And I think this game could already be over again. Also nice raid here on the extra goals from Miguel. Are trebuchets coming as well? Let's see. Let's see if trebuchets are coming as well. Yeah, one castle is producing trebuchets. Very nice play. And then he will snipe this castle, and then it could already be over. Or maybe even trap this castle, raid those golds as well. I think this could already be over. But let's see if Miguel manages to hold on. But Jakei is just so much more army with such a vast lead at the moment. 104 to 40 military. That's quite significant. Also nice spreading out here with the paladins, patrolling the extra golds. Not letting Miguel take any golds, letting him come back in any certain way. I feel like Jakei is just making all the right moves. Now he should retreat though a little bit and just sit back with his army, camp with some trebuchets and just snipe down the castles. I think that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's first approaching these extra golds, which is a very smart move. And I think he will already also try to castle this, and if he manages to do so, this is another big blow to Miguel's gold income and Miguel's base. Seems like Miguel has recovered a little bit, although his food count is dramatically low already, and he's starting to seed farms quite heavily. As you can see, it's a little bit laggy, but I think that it's actually okay for Chinese player. Yeah, quite dominant start for Jakei at this point. And I think we will see another big fight, and this could already be the deciding fight here. If Miguel loses all of his army here, he doesn't have any food to replenish it. And also is losing ground, more and more ground on these extra golds. Which are approached by yet another castle from Jakei. And I think this could be the deciding fight here. Very nice engagement though for Miguel, using all of his halberdiers to the fullest, getting rid of all the paladins, while Jakei doesn't have all of his army fighting yet. Oh, this is a very nice fight for Miguel. If he gets a comeback, this needs to be the fight he needs to win. It seems like it's quite even at this point. More and more halberdiers streaming in for Miguel as well. And he now lost control of these extra goals. So he needs to clean up these castles before he wants to do anything else in this game. Because the other golds here are castled down as well from Jakei. It will be rather difficult for Miguel to do anything in the next 10 minutes. Because his gold will run out eventually. Let's see what Jakei is doing. He is, yeah, spamming farms, as I said before. Farming very important in Frank War. And he's beginning to mass army again. Paladins for the most part and throwing X-Men. Pretty much the ideal combination for Franks. Of course, throwing X-Men to clean up the halberdiers and paladins to do the damage. But I'm quite curious if Miguel actually manages to pull this one back. This would be quite a nice comeback if he manages to do so. And I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen more raiding yet. Which is actually quite often seen in Frank Wars. But I think they both want to concentrate on this middle fight first before they do anything else. But actually, Jakei should raid a little bit more here on this economy of Miguel. This place is pretty much open due to the castle standing there. And is this castle going down? Nope. Maybe save it. Can you save it? No, I think the trebuchet will get it down in time before it can get repaired. Oh, no, I think it should be. Should stand? No, maybe yes, maybe so. I have no clue. This is kind of a breaking point of this game. Miguel is on life support at the moment. He is very low on pretty much every resource. And I think his main gold will run out in a few minutes. And if Jakei can support this push with a little bit of raiding in his economy, this game is pretty much over. And I think Miguel doesn't have anything to produce at the moment. Yeah, he's not producing anything at this point in time, and this should be the GG. If Miguel decides to call it. He's not, but why is Jakei not raiding? This could be the game ender. If Jakei decides to raid, it could be pretty much the game ender. And I think I'm pronouncing Jakei right. I'm not sure, but I should. And if you can already see at the population, it's 129 to 112, 58 to or 60 to 30 military. Also, more and more paladins coming in for Jakei. I don't know why he's concentrating so much on the front, and he is, I think, aware where Miguel's eco is. He's got a little bit of tunnel vision at the moment, I think. Now, Miguel also aware that these extra golds are being denied by Jakei, and his main gold is finally running out. Only 200 gold left, and these golds are still in control of Jakei, so there's a GG call from Miguel. Very nicely executed from Jakei here. And it's 2-1 in this best of 5 series, or 1-2 scoreboard. So next setting will be Celt War on graveyards. No, Celt War on the map pack. Excuse me. So I don't know either if the player numbers increase, but I think in like December last year, Voobly hit a player record, like number of individual players online with like I think 3K. So the where record numbers were hit in total. Um, he's not talking about viewers tube, he's talking about players being online. Peak hours it was 800 to 1K, yeah, it should be kind of the same. Although in new player lobby there are more players online than in medieval siege. I think normally in peak hours it's like 1K in new player lobby and 800 in medieval siege. And yeah, Celt War on map pack, and I hope it's not Baltic or Team Islands. I hope it's double Green Arabia. That would be so cool. As I said, a new player lobby like 1K plus. It could be quite a short game if it's Baltic or Team Islands, I suspect. But Celt War on like plains, any other land map can be quite exciting. Because of all the siege, of course. So let's see, Celt War on map pack, and it is double Green Arabia. Oh, this is so awesome. I think I'm having a nerdgasm right now. I seriously think I have a nerdgasm right now. Double Green Arabia Celt War. This will be quite exciting, I think. Miguel going for a barracks and 2 stable start. And Jakei going for a stable. He's going for all stables for paladins, which is quite a nice choice if you can manage this to really micro it efficiently. Double Green Arabia is one of the most stressful. Double Green Arabia on deathmatch is one of the most stressful things I think I've played in my whole life. It's quite hard to keep up, especially with all the raiding and stuff. Because you have to rush, you have to do everything double, basically, of what you do with a normal DM start. And you can see Jakei already trying to wall his villagers, making a castle, but he kind of failed here. Not building this stable already. And it's also quite a new thing for deathmatch. I think it was never played before, a double Green Arabia map. And Jakei already significantly behind, 2 villages behind and 4 military behind. So Jakei going for a stable start, not rushing yet, but seems like he will be rushing. Siege Workshop as well, barracks behind it. And of course on Double Arabia you're popped significantly earlier and you have to build up economy significantly earlier. It's a little bit easier, I think, with non-Hansivs, because the start is a little bit slower. You don't have to build up economies so significantly faster, but it's also a little bit more difficult with houses and stuff. And you have less units to defend in the early game. And Miguel already with quite a nice rush on the second of the southern TC of Jakei, while Jakei is mainly building up on one TC side, which is a little bit of a, I think, is a little bit of a mistake here, because you have to build up on both sides to really hit hard. And seems like Miguel is going for a very interesting approach here, with only stables on one side and barracks and siege on the other. can also decide to double one TC basically from both TC sides, which can be a little bit risky, but also quite effective. So, infantry and siege on one side for Miguel, and poor paladins and raiding on the other side. Let's see how this will turn out. They're kind of playing on both sides right now. Nice castles here from Miguel. I really like this positioning on this hill. And on the other side for Jakei, there's not much going on this side for him. Mainly everything is on this one side. It's like he's playing 1 TC start a little bit with kind of a colony in the south. So they're playing this quite interestingly, and you can see there's a lot of idle villagers standing around. There's a lot of idle armies standing around. Of course, understandable if you have 2 TCs to manage. It's not. If you have ever played RM Double Arabia, you know that's quite stressful. But now you can imagine what a 2 TC DM star on fast speed is like. And seems like Jakei is going for the superior unit choice here. He's managing to push Miguel on both sides and also going for a very heavy onager play. There's also a little bit of a discussion going on sometimes if you should go for more of a siege ram scorpion approach in Celt War or more for a siege onager approach. It's mostly RM is actually going for mass onagers, but it seems like Jakei is doing the mass onager approach here, which is I think not too bad. Let's see what he will do here, and let's look at the vill count for a moment. It's 30 to 50 villages, and you can see, as you can see, Miguel is building up his economy a lot faster. I think that's because he's more of an RM, and he is holding these castles for now quite nicely in the middle of the map. Actually, these are quite in the middle of the map. It's the center, and Jakei also marketed. I don't think that's such a nice choice to make. He sold wood, and he should build up economy quite soon as well. Don't think he has too many TCs yet. Yeah, he only has TCs on gold. As for Miguel, he already has TCs on wood, on gold, on stone, and on everything else. And if Miguel holds this for now, I think he should come out on top here. And oh god, this could be... No, is it? No. All the world... GG. Oh my... that just hurt. Like, you could see it happening, or it even happened. That hurt quite significantly. There were so many resources down the drain. That seriously hurt my heart deep inside, because it also happens to me every time. This could be a game changer. This could get Jakei the game. Because if Miguel had these World Raiders left, they could easily clean up those siege onagers here. No questions asked. And as you can see, Paladins actually do quite well against the World Raiders. Also still a little bit laggy, but as you can see, if it's siege onagers versus scorpions and traps, siege onagers eventually come out on top. Who would have thought? $70 siege ram spam. Yeah, actually wouldn't be that bad of an idea, or let's say at least a significant amount of rams in the mix. Because they're so hard to kill in a Celt War. Celts siege rams are so tanky, it's fucking ridiculous. It's quite laggy again, but I hope you bear with me. Jakei also killing his own units and producing trebuchets now. And now Miguel mixing in more and more siege launchers as well. He will try to snipe those trebuchets right away. While he needs to be a little bit cautious not to lose his own trebuchets here. This is a siege fest. If you like siege, you should watch Kelty Wars, because it's quite exciting. Having all the siege in place. And ooh, nice snipe from the trap here. This is kind of a trap war. While a castle from Miguel won't go down it, or the siege workshops rather, it's kind of a waste of trebuchets here. I think because the siege workshop can so easily be replaced. And it's kind of a game of who wastes the least, basically. And seems like Jakei is doing a little bit of a better job not to waste too much against the mass siege. I think nothing beats this here, this bloody clutter of units. How's the economy looking for both players? 104 villages now for Jakei, which means that he is significantly caught up on economy here. And I also want to note the fact that there's still not so much raiding going on as I would expect normally to happen. As we saw in the Frank War, there was not much raiding going on, which is kind of odd to see. But that's maybe it's just the style of the players. But I like how Jakei, like both players are really going for the middle of the map. And seems like Jakei is kind of maintaining the control of the center, which is quite important on Double Green Arabia especially. And this is basically the gateway to Miguel's economy. If Jakei runs in with some paladins or some road raiders, half of Miguel's economy would be dead. And I don't know why he's not approaching this, why he's not making use of this fact. I mean, he sees the farms here. He should know that most of Miguel's economy is there. And now we finally see some raiding here coming in from Miguel and the Tom and Bell, ringing the bell. This is kind of an AoK thing to do. Like, if you ever see a DM player going for the town bell because of a few units in his economy, it's safe to assume that he's 90% an AoK player or an old AoK player, because that's what they do. It's like ingrained in their blood. Everyone wants to play with Robo. So, what is Miguel doing to prevent this push from... Oh, he has mass siege here up on top. But that's not doing anything at the moment. He needs this siege down here to snipe the traps, because this is his gateway to his economy, as I said before. And if this economy is dead, Miguel is dead, basically. And his resources are looking very grim at the moment. Jakei's resources are looking a little bit better, although he doesn't really have a food count. He doesn't really have a farm count, so to speak of. Let's see. He has 40... No, that's Miguel. Wait a second. He has 20 farmers, which is not much. And he's also walling the side, which is a very nice move here to make. So, is Jakei going to move in or not? Is he making the move? Game-ending move or not? Or is he waiting for longer? This game could go on for quite some time, actually, if you ask me. And And all those golds not yet claimed. And I don't think they have collected relics yet. Not sure. So another fight going on top, up top. Miguel seems to be pushing. That's why he left his army there. He wants to push this side from Jakei, just crushing him from up top. So he may be able to push this, but it's so hard. It's pretty hard to push in a Cald War or in any civilization which has siege on just basically. But I also like the fact that Miguel is raiding a lot here. World raiders die actually quite easily against castles, or more easily than other units, which you are typically raiding with in the end. So Jakei needs to be very careful not to lose too much eco here. His food count is surprisingly high at the moment. Doesn't have... Yeah, okay, he's feeding more and more farms, that kind of explains it. But he's also losing more and more farmers. It's now 94 to 118 villages. And it's kind of a stalling game at the moment. Not too much happening here. Raiding coming in here as well from Jakei. Killing a few peasants from Miguel. Seems like it's kind of a standoff right now. But now road raiders coming into Miguel's economy. This could be a huge blow. There's nothing really saving those villages, and Miguel is not addressing this issue. Miguel is like, nah, fuck those villagers, I want them dead. They don't deserve to live. Where's he concentrating on? Oh, this main fight here. And all the siege challenges. Look at all the siege challenges. Hitting everything in their way. And now Miguel basically lost everything. He somehow has 24 military left. I don't know where. But he does. While his economy is practically getting trashed from Jakei. If you can see, look at the KD ratio at the moment. 560. 400 in favor of Jakei. Quite significant if you ask me. And the villager numbers are always turning around the 100 population point. Only 20 military for either of those players. One more raiding coming in as well. Miguel trying to snipe some of the Jakei's economy. Oh, who is collecting relics? Someone is collecting relics. Jakei collecting relics. Oh, he collected a relic. Seems like Jakei now concentrating. Yet again, Jakei started trade. What? Oh, 2 trade cards, nice. Jakei started trading. Be so funny if he finds Miguel's market. Seems like Jakei is trying to push the top now. It's always nice to snipe some castles, of course. Also, more and more raiding coming in as well on the sides. I think Jakei has a significant lead now in this game. Question is, if he can push his advantage. Miguel banking a lot of gold. I think he wants to open up a bank. He needs food though. That's what he needs at the moment. Oh, wow, look at all the zombies just getting trashed. GG, vote raiders as well. 36 farmers from Miguel, that's alright. And he's also taking the golds in the south. So he's trying to open up a bank. The thing is, will he survive long enough to make use of it? Okay. Game's getting a little bit boring if you ask me. Kind of a standoff mostly, for the most part. And I think, oh my lord, look at all those stats, each other just all getting trashed by each other. And I think this wasn't a very good trade for Miguel. Oh, the longer the game goes, and I think Miguel should have a lead because of his gold count. So Jakei kinda needs to push this now. But he has a more healthy economy than Miguel does at the moment. And I think siege rams would be kind of advisable for Jakei now. Just plow through these farms and kill the economy of Miguel. Because if he doesn't really have wood also, so if you trash all of these farms, you won't be able to replenish them. The big thing, I think the big thing here is that Miguel's eco is constantly open to harassment from Jakei. Jakei's economy is kind of well fortified in the center and on the sides, while Miguel is dead open to any harassment Jakei coming in. And I'm actually surprised that he's holding on for that long. I mean, he's replenishing villages constantly, and that's hurting his food economy quite significantly. Now Miguel's switching to siege rams, using a lot of gold on siege here. And if he trashes them yet again against siege onagers, I will cry. Also nice switch here to the south side of the map, pressuring Miguel on Jakei here. Also getting some houses down, which is already having an impact here. Only 180 highest population now for Miguel. Also a lot of farms running out. And seems like Miguel is now preparing a big push. But I don't think he will be able to push it. There's enough units for Jakei to actually defend this, and of course enough siege onagers. And ooh, nice shot here from Miguel. Could he be turning this around? Or will the siege onagers get trashed? Nope, nice micro here. Nice. No, never mind. Not nice micro here for Miguel. And still Jakei has a lot of units left, which can actually get rid of those siege rams. And siege rams now getting onto the buildings from Jakei, but also siege rams from Jakei himself. Trying to deal with this, and GG call from Miguel. No economy left for him. And well played by Jakei, I gotta say. Quite exciting in the beginning, a little bit of a standoff in the mid game, but not too bad, not too bad. So it's 3-1 for Jakei, which means he wins this best of 5 series. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you follow this tournament a little bit more in the future. I will be trying to stream as much as I can, and thank you everybody for watching.